Well, this is John by Super Chemist. I'm going to show you how to make anhydrous isopropyl alcohol, which some people call it 2-Propanol, propan 2-ol. There's many names for it, rubbing alcohol. I basically got this 91% isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol at the grocery store. And we're going to take 100 milliliters out and try and make it anhydrous. So I got 100 milliliters of 91% isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I'm going to put in there. So I got about 30 grams of anhydrous copper sulfate. The reason I use 30 grams of copper sulfate was because it's a pentahydrate, which means it can hold 5 hydrates. I figured there might be about maybe 12 milliliters of water in that alcohol. That's less than a mole of water, because a mole would be 18 milliliters. Alright, so I wanted to put something in there that would at least absorb a mole. I wanted to do overkill, you know what I mean? I know that the copper sulfate anhydrous is like 160 grams or something like that a mole. So I figured 1/5 of that, or 1/5 of 150 would be easier to figure out, which would be 30 grams. So I think I put like 32 grams in there, something like that. That was my reasoning behind that weight. Was that if it's a pentahydrate, that means it can absorb 5 moles of water. If I divide it by 5, then it can absorb 1 mole of water, right? Mostly anhydrous. I'll start this up so it spins. We'll cover it up with cellophane on the top, and I'm going to let it spin. I'm going to let it stir for about 20 minutes. I gotta let that stir for like a couple hours, and I let it sit overnight. Time to filter it out. See how I turned the valve on, so I still keep my vacuum. I can turn the pump off, at least for a little bit. See, now it slows down. Then I'll have to open the valve, start it back up again, and get my vacuum again. Alright, now I dumped that into this cup here because I didn't want this to evaporate, putting a vacuum on this. Then I kept the vacuum. You can see I got about another 10 milliliters in there. So I got about 75 milliliters in there. Plus say 10 in there, that's about 85 milliliters. I did a density test. It was 0.78, and the density for it should be 0.786. So it's pretty anhydrous. I just want to show you something. I poured some more, just a whole bunch of water, no, not a whole bunch, but a little bit on top there, and you can see that it can turn more blue, meaning that it could have absorbed more water if there was more in there. Watch, I'm going to put some more in there. Watch as it goes through there. See how it's turning more and more blue? And that's because it still has the ability to absorb more water. There was no water. That proves there was no water in there to absorb, or it would have. Let's do a little test with it. So I'm going to throw some anhydrous copper sulfate in there. You can see, but see how white that is? I mean, that's white. Now I'm going to stir it up for about 20 minutes and see what happens with it. You can see I let it settle back down. It's still white as can be. I mean, there's no blue in there. See how white that is? You know that's anhydrous. So I'm just set up for simple distillation. I left that copper sulfate in there. That way, in case any water can absorb it. You can see, it's coming over. A little cloud there. I actually might have to turn it down here a second. You can see the vapors. It's actually a great shot. Well, that's basically it. I'm just going to distill that over. That first little bit that comes over, I'm gonna discard. By discard, I mean put it in a bottle saying almost anhydrous, just in case there's a little bit of a couple drops of water in there. And then everything after them first couple drops, bam, I will collect. Remember, don't distill your pot down to nothing, down to dryness. Leave something in there. You can always add it to the stuff. Those first couple milliliters that you distilled over, you can mix it with this pot and save it. See, there's the receiving flask. You don't have to go slow because you're just basically trying to get the solids out. So you can go at a pretty good rate. Didn't want about a drip a second, so I don't know, me after so long I'll jack that up so it goes faster. Alright, well there's what I got. You can see it's crystal clear. Almost 70 milliliters. Figure around 10 milliliters was water, say, you know what I mean. I took it all the way down to 70, but it is, and I still have a little bit in here that would take it up to exactly 70 now that I see it. So it lost a little bit, but it's definitely anhydrous. Always remember, science is great.